Om Shanti. Adhyatmik Vishwavidyalay presents Bhagavad, Part 6. In the previous episodes, we watched those sequences of conspiracy one after the other, in which the first one was putting Baba in jail by making false allegations of stealing electricity against him, lodging rape cases right after sending him in jail, and trapping him in a case of income tax after that. One case was left out in between, the case about the self-esteem of a major girl surrendered in the service of God. The conspirators made even her a target and trapped her through the government officials. Keep watching this true incident, in which the organizations like Women Welfare Organization, who claim to protect women, themselves became exploiters instead of protectors. It is said that the degradation of women is the cause of the degradation of society. Where women are unrespected, just disaster befalls there. Just like it is shown in the scriptures, Duryodhan and Dushasan tried to disrobe Draupadi and Mahabharata took place. Ravan kidnapped Devi Sita and Ramayan took place. Actually, a woman is the axis of a family and the supportive pillar of a society. Only a woman can create a beautiful civilized society. It is also said in the scriptures, Yatra naristu pujante, ramante tatra devta, yetre tastu na pujante sarvash tatra falah kriya. 56th shlok from 3rd chapter of Manusmriti. It means, deities remain pleased with the place, society and family where women are respected. Where this doesn't happen, where women are treated disrespectfully, deities don't show their grace there, and the tasks performed there aren't successful. But when sinful, immoral human beings become blind with lust and anger, they fail to see what sins they are about to commit against the decorum, law and order of the society. In addition, if the administrative officials who are called protectors of the law, servants of the subjects, whom the administration has given the responsibility of maintaining law and order in the society, if they themselves start supporting them, if they themselves become exploiters instead of protectors, who will keep the criminals in check? When such sinful and immoral conduct, atrocity, corruption reach their extremity at the end of the ironage, God has to come, especially in India, to protect the noble ones and destroy the wicked. It isn't about the copperage, but the present time. This is an incident of the year 1998 about the story of Kumari Savita Narayan Kabade, a major girl hailing from the city Hubli, Karnataka, who was 18 years old in 1998. Motivated by the spiritual knowledge, Kumari Savita came to the Adhyatmik Vishwavidyalay situated at Kampil from Karnataka with her brother, Kumar Girish Narayan Kabade, to study the spiritual knowledge and do Ishwariya service. And both, brother and sister, also started taking Ishwariya knowledge like the other students, unbeknownst to anyone at that time that Savita's painful story is going to unfold in the coming future. The opponent groups always looked for a chance to trap Baba in another conspiracy by causing some or the other turmoil. They inspired 2 more people to start this new conspiracy. One was Ashok Miskin from Hubli, and another one was Om Prakash Agnihotri. First of all, the opponents instigated Savita's father, Narayan T. Kabade, like they did in the case of Kumari Konika Varman. Narayan Kabade came under their influence and manipulated Savita's birth certificate, that is, he produced 2 false birth certificates from Hubli City Clinic and a photocopy of false ration card before the police, in which Savita's date of birth was mentioned as 10th January 1981 and she was told to be a minor. On the basis of those false certificates, Narayan Kabade registered a case against Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit by making a false allegation of kidnapping Kumari Savita. Narayan T. Kabade was also made to say in his statement that when he contacted the inhabitants of Adhyatmik Vidyalaya in search of his daughter on 25th November 1998, the goons of the Vidyalaya attacked him. You have already come to know what Baba and the Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya were facing at that time. When Savita came to Adhyatmik Vidyalaya, Baba himself was in jail and the inhabitants of Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya were going through tough times. Still, considering it his utmost duty to give shelter to someone who seeks refuge, and without worrying about anything else, Baba decided to give shelter to Kumari Savita and her brother in the Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya. But as the saying goes, what if it is the sun? Even the sun has to set. What if it is gone? Even he has to endure hardships. Upon being ordered by the judge to get Kumari Savita medically examined for virginity, the police personnel took Savita to the Fatehgarh Government Hospital forcibly. Kumari Savita told them that she was a pure maiden and didn't want to get her internal medical examination done. Still, the police personnel threatened her to get her virginity medically examined even against her will, and told her that if she didn't allow the examination, there would be untoward consequences. Where was the National Commission for Women, which expresses its resentment in matters of women's security at that time? Yes, it will come and express its anger in an influential way after everything unpleasant has occurred with the maidens. Woman who is considered to be the source of inspiration, who is called invaluable, what is her value? When she burns and suffers in the fire of atrocities and torture, even her soul trembles due to brutality.
अरे क्या बात भैया, नहीं मेडिकल क्यों नहीं कराना? ये और भी महिला है, आप लोग क्या मेडिकल के लिए तैयार हैं? और महिलाओं से बात करके दीजिएगा।
But Draupadis are molested openly even now as people consider women to be weak. When Savita was being forced, she bravely faced it all alone and started shouting loudly, refusing to get it done. Even the doctors became afraid upon seeing that form of Savita, and it was as if they lost their courage, or call it stupidity, to commit injustice with the money they had received. Later, they had to cancel the medical examination for virginity out of compulsion. It was the same scenario that has been described in the scriptures, disrobing of Draupadi by Duryodhan and Dushasan and safeguarding the modesty of women by God himself. It is because God is with the one who has nobody. We have produced Kumari Savita's school leaving certificate issued by the Lamington Girls High School, Karnataka, before the magistrate's court, in which Kumari Savita's date of birth was clearly mentioned to be 10th June 1980. The certificate proves her to be a major. We had also produced an affidavit stating her willingness to obtain spiritual knowledge and stay at the Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya, but neither the above mentioned evidences nor the verbal evidences of Kumari Savita and her brother Kumar Girish were taken into consideration. Therefore, Kumari Savita was detained at Nari Niketan, Etawah, against her will illegally, whereas the Constitution of India says, if a girl is above 18 years of age, she can go anywhere she likes, nobody can stop her. And Bharat also grants religious freedom. This decision of sending her to Nari Niketan was absolutely out of the magistrate's jurisdiction and illegal, because if someone is a minor, no magistrate can be his legal or appointed protector. This way, despite being a major according to the original birth certificates, Kumari Savita's right to personal freedom was snatched from her. Her fundamental rights were violated. Finally, on 11th March 1999, the Honorable Sessions Judge Farrukhabad passed this order.
Criminal Revision number 13/99 is partially allowed, and the last paragraph of the judgment is modified in the following way, that the revision list Kumari Savita, who is under supervision, can go anywhere except Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit's ashram situated at Kampil or any of its branches. This order will be in effect till the investigation of the activities of the ashram is completed.
The reason for imposing restriction in the order was that many cases were under trial against Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit. Investigation continued for 13 years against innocent Baba, and the order passed by the Sessions Judge with respect to Savita stayed in continuous effect indirectly till then. Perhaps this is why it is said, law is blind. The officers, leaders who talk about freedom, rights, equality and welfare of women like monsoon frogs bow to the indefinite restriction imposed by the district level courts. After many days, Kumari Savita was suddenly freed from Nari Niketan, Etawah, and left on the streets mercilessly. That 18 years old helpless girl wasn't in a state to go to Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya situated at Kampil, which was the only safe place for her, because the court had prohibited her from going there. But the one whose companion is God, no amount of storms and thunders can stop him. Under the shelter of God, escaping the goons chasing her, she succeeded in reaching another safe heaven, where God's canopy of protection was her support. Though the court of this world prohibited her from going to the Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya and did injustice to her, God's Alokik court made her reach a safe heaven. This is why it is said, God's mill grinds slow but sure. Finally, Savita's father, Narayan T. Kabade, also had to bow to the truth. Narayan T. Kabade clearly stated in his notarized affidavit on 26 September 2002 that he couldn't back out from the case immediately because he feared that Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit would file a case against him for planning this conspiracy. So, he admitted his mistake and apologized to Baba for his offense of registering a false case against Baba, and also verified the fact that his children had contacted Adhyatmik Vishwa Vidyalaya situated at Kampil with their own free will and not under anybody's influence. Finally, the Sessions Court accepted Narayan T. Kabade's notarized affidavit on 23 October 2002 and closed this case. An innocent person is declared guilty without having committed an offense in this corrupt society, and he is defamed a lot through the media until he is proved innocent. It is because if 100 people call a lie the truth repeatedly, the world of falsehood just starts considering that lie to be the truth. When Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit was proved innocent by the court after 13 years, can the media personnel wipe out these blemishes of defamation? If they can't, they shouldn't at least print any news with respect to anybody without having truly investigated it, or misuse the rights given by the Constitution in future. We have seen in the scriptures how many demons Kans sent to kill Krishna. Similarly, here too, the opponent groups inspired by demons like Kans, Jarasandh and Shishupal are pursuing Baba for the last 40 years with the intention to kill him. This is the reason why Baba had to continuously stay underground. Just like it is shown in the scriptures, Lord Shri Krishna wandered from village to evade Kans. Lord Shri Ram wandered in the forest full of painful thorns to evade Ravan and confronted him when it was time. So, it is a tactic of God. Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit will also come in front of the world when it is the correct time, and the entire world will witness his truth. Until the world comes to know the World Father, who grants liberation to everyone, nobody can be liberated. On the one hand, Baba went underground, and on the other hand, the elder mother, Kamla Devi Dikshit, was threatened in Baba's absence, meaning the demonic children like Mani and Malla created differences of opinion between the mother and the father, took the elder mother under their control, and succeeded in making her leave the Ishwariya Vidyalaya. But in spite of all this, when the pure sisters and mothers get ready to surrender their life for God's service, having known this utmost pure knowledge and recognizing the form of God, they are vehemently opposed by the family members, society and the government. When they escape and take the shelter of the Adhyatmik Vishwavidyalaya, the real Bhagavad that is praised in the scriptures takes place. But foolish people are unable to recognize God in an ordinary form and consider him to be impure and degraded like them and continue to defame and dishonor him. Despite all that, day by day,
एक से एक बड़े बड़े परिवारों की कन्याएं भाग भाग के आ रही हैं।
maidens belonging to big and influential families are running away, leaving their home and coming here.
भागवत प्रसिद्ध प्रैक्टिकल भागवत हो रही है।
The famous Bhagavad is taking place in practice.
और झूठे झूठे इल्जाम लगाए जा रहे।
And false allegations are being made.
क्या?
What?
गंदे गंदे केस में फंसाए जाने की कोशिश हो रही है।
The opponents are trying to trap Baba in dirty cases.
लेकिन सब फेल।
But all of them fail.
एक में भी भ्रष्टाचारियों की जीत नहीं हो सकती। क्यों?
The corrupt ones can't win even a single case. Why?
क्योंकि शास्त्रों में लिखा है।
It is because it is written in the scriptures.
दुनिया की एक ही शख्सियत है जो कभी भी युद्ध में हार नहीं खाती है।
There is just one personality in the world who never suffers defeat in battle.
सदा विजयी हुई है।
He has always gained victory.
भगवान बाप से ये वरदान मिला हुआ है।
You have received this boon from God the Father.
विजय तुम्हारा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार।
Victory is your birthright. Now, who is that pure Shiv Shakti who sustains the increasing number of mothers and sisters at the present time? Who is that Yagya Mata who maintains the glory of Bhagavad from the beginning till the end and completes the great Bhagavad, the one who stays free from jealousy and enmity, who is known by the name of Mahasati Anusuya in the scriptures? Watch it in detail in the next episodes.